Well, well, well. Guys, we are back. We are back for another great week of Twisted Transitions. I would like to first thank everybody for being here, but secondly, I would like to apologize for last week. I know I said the week before that I would be live and stuff last week, but it just got a little too hectic for me. It was 3 gigs that we're going to talk about and stuff today. You're going to see exactly why. I had to focus on the gigs, but we are back for another great week. I've got a lot of great stuff to go over, to talk to you about, to show you, talk about next week, what's coming up next week and what's coming up this weekend, as we will be unveiling some stuff this coming up weekend. So I can't wait to do that. So if you guys would just do me a favor and in the chat, will you let me know how everything sounds, whether or not it sounds good or not, so that I can make sure once I start that I'm good. We don't have to worry about anything. So just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Give me something. TJG Kitty. He's all right. Look, he's frustrated, guys. Look at this. We're upset. You're canceling shows. Really? Let me know you guys can hear me in the chat, though. Give me a thumbs up. Just tell me that you can hear me, and we will move forward. Let me get a drink of water while I wait for that. All right, there it is. Perfect. Thank you, PV. Okay, so last weekend, 3 gigs, 3 dates, 3 different events, 3 different weddings, all different in their own rights. 1 out of town, 1 at night outside, and 1 in the afternoon in a building. So let's talk about them. All right. But before we jump to that, let's talk about what's going to be unveiled this weekend. So let's go here. All right. So what you are seeing right now on the screen is actually my brand new handmade case for my DJ table my DJ furniture that I will be using this coming up weekend. I had this handmade because other companies that make these cases wanted $2,000 for it. And I wasn't about to pay that, guys. I'm not. Look, I know I spend some money and stuff on my gear and stuff like that, but for a case, like, if I know a good carpenter and I tell them exactly what's needed, I think they can make, something that will house it here. So this is what the side of it looks like here. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. Now, this was at his actual workshop. He sent me pictures and stuff of it here. But my furniture will fit right inside there. And then, of course, there's wheels and everything on the bottom of that, so that I can roll that in and out. And then, the whole panel or the front goes on there and clips into each one of those silver frames. So this is what it looks like with the stand in there. So you can see how the DJ furniture sits. And like I said, we will be unveiling this guy, using this guy for the first time this coming up weekend. I cannot wait. It has been a long time coming, and everything looks like it is finally all together. And I just cannot wait to unveil this sucker, man. I hope everything goes well. I also put together just a quick little case and everything for it, just to house my microphone and some, outlets and plugs and everything for that are right in there. And then I'll be using that Yamaha mixer that we talked about on a previous show. That's going to be the mixer on top. I drilled in the SKB case and put the antennas and everything on the side. So that's what that's going to look like. This is going to sit behind the facade behind me. And we're going to make magic and stuff, guys. Like this coming up Saturday, this young lady got pretty much all my bells and whistles. So If you're not following me on Instagram, you should be following me on Instagram because you will see it first, but I will have pictures of how everything looked next week. I mean, she's got Cold Spark, she's got Monogram, she's got TV, she's got uplighting, she's got the whole thing, photo booth, all of it. It's insane. She everything I told her that I had, she was like, yeah, I want it. So that will go into this coming up weekend's event. So that's what that looks like on here. All right. So let's talk about some of these events and stuff. So day one event. This was in Tennessee. Okay. This wasn't just in any place in Tennessee. This was Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And what I can say is if you've ever been to like a strip or like a Myrtle Beach, like Myrtle Beach here is like a main strip. The water's on one side, hotels are right there. Then there's a strip that everybody drives down. You bring your cars, bring your motorcycles, all that good stuff. Then there's hotels on the left side. Pigeon Forge is the mountain version of that. I mean, this venue right here is absolutely stunning. I mean, the views from this venue were breathtaking. I took my girl and stuff with me on this one, and it was absolutely amazing. Like when we were looking out, I was like, I can't believe I get to DJ at this place. And another crazy thing about it is that it was one of you guys. You know, it was a fellow subscriber, a fellow DJ who watches the channel, who, you know, DJs in this particular area, and he wanted me to DJ his wedding, and he had asked last year about it. He definitely picked me out of a handful of people that he could have picked out of, and I'm just so glad that he did so, because this right here, I got a chance to see something absolutely crazy. I mean, look at the view and stuff on here. And here's my setup that I had. I know I'm kind of in the way and stuff over here, but you know, it's symmetric. So, you know, I got a LD system, the Maui 44 G2s. I got one on one side and of course one on the other side. And then I had the focus spot 4Zs from ADJ, and then my 5-panel facade and the 2 totals. Now, I didn't take the truck and trailer and stuff up there because I knew that I was going to be climbing a mountain. And thank God I didn't. So I rented an old friend of the channel. I rented a U-Haul. If you guys know and been following me for a while, you know that there was one period where I was just renting U-Hauls every single weekend, and then I finally got a truck and trailer and all that good stuff. So it felt funny or nostalgic to go back to a U-Haul, but I know I needed to use a U-Haul to go up this mountain. I mean, there was some hills that literally looked just like this, like going straight up. So it was a little nuts and stuff going up some of these hills, but we survived and we made it. Now this is what it looks like facing my my setup, but this is what it looked like behind the booth. I mean, you can see I brought the Rev 7 and stuff up there to use, and just look at that view. I mean, that is insane. And the groom, who is the subscriber, his name is Michael. He said that the dance floor was going to be, they were going to convert the ceremony over into the dance floor area. So the mountains and the city skyline and all that stuff back there was going to be the backdrop for the night, which impressed me even more. Plus the building right to the right of the building, they were going to raise those doors so it had an in-out feel. And I mean, this is just what I got to see like the whole time. Now, I was a little worried about rain, but rain was not in the forecast. However, I did get a few sprinkles, just like a baby little shower. But you know, a baby shower can mess up your entire event, but it wasn't enough to do any kind of damage or anything. So it was great. I was taken away and stuff by this, that I actually got to view this and DJ this. I mean, look at this. Fantastic. I mean, this is the view from the actual ceremony that I stepped over to the right. I mean, look at that. That's what the photographer was able to capture. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. And all the guests and everything had to be shuttled and stuff up there, because they were serving alcohol. They had the photographer had a photo booth and stuff up there, but it was like, it was just so great. So great. I could not have asked for more than that. And I was like, well, how's the rest of the weekend, even going to come close to this? So what I ended up doing was on Thursday, another reason why I couldn't do the show, because on Thursday I left to go to Tennessee, and just so I made sure I was, local, ready to go for the next day, because that was Friday was when the event was. Stayed overnight, did the event, and right after this event, tore everything down and drove back to South Carolina. Drove all the way back to Columbia. It was like a 4-hour and 20-minute drive. The wedding ended at 10 or 10:30. So I got home, roughly after packing everything up. I got home roughly about 3:30-ish, something like that. Went to sleep, for whatever time I could. Woke right back up, and it was time for day number 2. Now, day number 2 consisted of multiple things. The first thing that day number 2 consisted of was I had a rental of equipment. There was some tailgating going on, and a friend of mine wanted some big speakers and stuff to go out there. So I rented him all of my QSC speakers, the big tall, I think it's the KW 133 or 153 or something like that. The KW 122, the KW 181 subwoofers. I mean, I rented them all of those speakers, and he came and got all of those speakers and took them out to the tailgating event, and also brought out an old friend, an old mixer. And if you guys are really, really OGs of the channel, you know that when I first came on YouTube, this is what I was using. The Pioneer DJM 3000, just a mixing board, pretty much. And let me tell you, I probably should have checked this thing out a little bit more thoroughly, because, when I first checked it out, everything was fine. Both channels and everything worked. But when he got it out there, one of the channels and stuff didn't really work like it did when I had it set up, which was interesting. But I mean, this thing is old, man. This thing has been through it. It just kind of sits in my garage in a case, but it is old. I've had this for so long. I think I got it off of eBay, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just, it served the purpose back then, but it definitely can't serve a purpose and stuff now. Like, it's got to go. And this is what it looked like at the event. You can see all the speakers were stacked up on top of each other, and they were, had the football thing going on and stuff over there. So it's like, it was nuts. It was nuts, because I got out there and I knew exactly where they were and stuff, because when I left the house to go to my event, I stopped by here to give them my Mackie mixer, the new one that I've gotten for ceremonies. Excuse me. And I just replaced it. Instead of using that Pioneer DJM 3000, I used the Mackie mixer. And you'll see that in this picture right here. You see it right there on top of that table. I just switched to that one, and voila, everything worked beautifully. It was loud as all get out. I mean, it was loud, and that's exactly what those guys wanted. So that's what they got. But all QSC speakers were on deck and stuff that day, and they just had it running to, I think, XM, something that can produce XM radio, on top of being able to tap into a television. So they knocked it out. I just provided the sound the sound for them that day. But I had a rental that day, and then I also had a wedding that day that was close to the same area. So this is a venue that I've been to 1,000 times, and it was absolutely amazing. No sun and stuff at all, but we were outside. This is what I truly was making it back from Tennessee for to do this particular wedding. And couldn't ask for an easier day as far as weather goes, but I tell you what, it was muggy. The difference in the temperature here versus being up in those mountains in Tennessee, the day before. Night and day difference. Night and day. So here's the setup and everything that I had. Pretty much the same setup that I used up there. I just figured, for all the events, I was just going to pack for all three in the U-Haul van and just use that. So here it is again, all set up on the outdoor field under a tent, all sheltered. And right over here, let's just use this hand. Right over here is where the photo booth and everything went. You can see some of the cases and stuff on the ground and stuff over there. And then, of course, I did uplighting and stuff around the whole tent. But very good party. The first one was a good party. Not a whole lot of guests. I think it was 65 guests at the one in Tennessee. This one had 125 guests. So when I do the gig logs, you're going to see a big increase between one gig log and a second gig log. And then it's going to drop back down again because Sunday was like 70 guests or something like that too. But this one was great. This one had a lot of great music. This young lady had been following me on Instagram, and she loved everything I did. And she was like, when we sat down to talk, I asked her, I said, how did you want me to do music and stuff? What did you want me to kind of get up with that? And what are songs that you must hear? And she said, I've seen your stuff on Instagram. I'm just going to let you do your thing. Like, I don't want to tell you anything. Like, I think everything you're going to do will be fine. And I was like, okay. So she pretty much just let Book cook. And I was able to do my thing and stuff, man. So it was nuts. It was a good party. You'll see that on an upcoming gig log. It will be absolutely fantastic. Then day 3 came. Shut this one down at 10 o'clock. We sent everybody away, broke this one all the way down, had my crew and stuff with me, broke it down, got home probably like, I don't know, 12 something at night, and had to be back up. And at this next one, I had to be at that one at 10 o'clock in the morning because it was an afternoon wedding and I needed to be there. The parking is terrible at this place. But I've done gigs here a ton of times and had to be there super early. So I was there. But the good thing about this one, it was just ceremony and reception. It was, you could say that it was cocktail hour and stuff. There was. But for the most part, there was no lights at all. That was a major plus because I was tired of doing lights by this point. I was running on fumes by this point. I don't know where I mustered up the energy to do this event, but I gave it what I could. I do think it ran about an hour too long, but it's okay. It's fine. I used that time to practice because I have a similar event that's coming up weekend, and I just used it to kind of mix and match and practice and stuff like that. So it was a good event. I was worried about people on a Sunday. It was a little rough and stuff at first, and then everybody got up and got going, and then they sat down. And once they sat down, it was on. So I probably gave them about an hour worth of good music where they were just up, and that's what you're probably going to see on the gig log. So I did do a small gig log for that one. And I'm still in the editing stage of most of these, but it's coming soon. This gig log will be coming soon. So stay tuned for that. Man. So much stuff. I was, once Monday came, I was ready to go ahead and just say, you know what? Nobody called me. Nobody texted me. I mean, I missed all football. I missed everything. I mean, I didn't get home on Sunday until like, I want to say like 8. I think it was like 8 o'clock, maybe 9, something like that in the evening. And I had missed everything. So I was just like, screw it. And I just kind of turned my phone off. But when I turned it back on, it's so crazy because I had like 3 new inquiries. 3 new inquiries, and by this time I'm like all wedding now, and I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about weddings. But the next day I got up and just killed it. Went through all the emails and hopefully got them booked. But they are excited. So that was the triple header weekend. It was absolutely insane. I don't know how many of those I would ever schedule myself for again. That was just, I think at this stage in my career, that was a little bit too much. I think I can handle 2, but I think those days of doing 3, I think that's over. I mean, my legs were on fire. My legs were on fire, and that could be because of the fatigue and stuff. Driving from Tennessee, driving back here, it could be from there. But I can't. I don't think I could do 3. I don't think I could do 3. But everybody got some great energy. So before I start with the couple of topics and stuff that I have, let's check the chat and see who is in here. We got DJ G Kenny. I always say Kenny, but I bet you it's Kenai. It may be. Let's just say Kenny, and he'll correct me and stuff in the chat. PV, Highway Kurt, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming out. DJ Romeo Great, what's good, man? Beauty does make the difference. Did she help load and unload? Okay, guys, I'm not going to make my girl load and unload. Let me stop lying. Yeah, I made her load and unload. I said, look, you here, you're going to have to help, doggone it. I'm just joking. But she volunteered. She saved me like 15, 20 minutes of load-ins time. She went and got all the uplights and stuff for me while I was breaking down all the big stuff. And then she went to change, and for some reason it took her a long time to change, yet I was still loading stuff in the truck. I was like, where you at? Why am I doing everything? But no, I didn't make her work. I just needed her to keep me company. I needed that company on the way back. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, your guy almost wasn't here. Let me tell you why. I'm driving back from Tennessee. It's late at night. I'm not sleepy, but I'm just driving, making my way. I see this big hill, and I see these lights coming down this big hill, and I'm coming this way, and they're coming this way, and then I notice, I'm like, is he on my side of the road? Yep, he's on my side of the road. Guy was coming down. I was in the fast lane. Guy was coming down my side of the road in the fast lane. I had to hop over a lane and hop on the shoulder to make sure he didn't hit me. That was very interesting. Thank goodness I was alert enough to pay attention and understand that. But yeah, he was coming right at me. And it was really, really late at night, so I don't know what he was on, what they were on, if it was a woman. I have no idea. But your guy almost wasn't here. He was coming right at me, never stopped, never braked. I didn't see any brake lights, just headlights. That's all I saw. Who knows? Hopefully that person made it home safe, but they didn't. They could have caused a big accident. All right, let's see. Daniel Rodriguez. What would have been scared being that? Oh, you would have been scared being that. I was a little nervous. I couldn't go over to that edge. I couldn't go over to that edge at all. It was. I'm terrified of heights, but I can look out into the distance. I just can't look down. So looking out in the distance, I was good, but when I get to that edge and look down, we don't do that too often. All right. DJ Solstice, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming through. DJ K, setup looks good, book. What are the movers on the totems again? It is the ADJ Focus Spot 4Zs. That is the moving heads that I have. I have those. I have InnoSpot Pros, and then I've got some shed lights that are like wash movers. DJ J Torture, what's happening? YSE, have you had any homecomings yet? I've had homecomings last year, but I've only been asked to do one homecoming this year so far, and I'm already booked for that date. So no. The answer to your question is no. DJ K, hey book, we are old now, right? Them legs gonna going to let you know the triple toe. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I couldn't tell if it was exhaustion or just me being older. I didn't know. But all I know is I was pushing through. I had to give everybody equal energy. I pushed through. Johnny. I'm saying it right. All right, so DJ G Kenny. All right, gotcha. All right, so let's get into some topics and stuff here. I only have I think I only have like 3 topics and stuff real quick and stuff for you here. I'm not gonna hold you guys forever and stuff like that. So let's get into some of these topics. All right. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do must playlist. The reason I did this is because not this weekend, but next weekend I have an event at a location that I've never been at. I can't wait to show you guys that. But it's a location I've never been at. I actually go to this place whenever it's not being used as a venue. It's like a regular brewery, so it's kind of nice. But the young lady, the young lady is very adamant about songs that must be played. And the reason I put this on here is because I'm wondering whether or not bands get the same must play. Like if a band tells you, hey, here's our song list, like, do you tell them, oh, but I want you to play this, or oh, but I want you to play? Because I think DJs in general, we get these must play lists, and it's like you got to play it, but sometimes there's songs that don't really make any sense to what you're trying to do. So I'll give you for instance. So you're trying to keep the BPMs at 128, which is usually, about that hotel room service, Pitbull hotel room service type beat. And they want several songs that are in that 90, 95 range, which is like that This Is How We Do It and lip gloss range, okay, as far as music goes. And it's like you could take your whole crowd there and keep your whole crowd there, but even when you dip into what they want for the must play and it doesn't match what you're doing, do you guys still play the song? What about if they come up to you and say, hey, what about this song? Do you play it off to where you're like, or do you give them what they want? Here's my thing. If you give me a must playlist, okay, and let's say it's got 20 songs on it, I'm usually only going to download about 10 of them, probably about half of them. Here's why I do that. Because if your bride and groom dictate the dance floor, I think, and this is just me, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion, I think when they select songs, they're selecting songs that they like as far as the couple. And I tell couples and stuff all the time, don't pick songs that you guys listen to in the car. Don't pick songs that you like to sing when you're alone in the car. Like, none of those songs are what we're trying to do at your reception. We're trying to please your guest. I need to know what your friends like, what your family likes, because those are the people who are going to be dancing. Yeah, you may come out and dance to that song, but if I've got a packed dance floor and you come over and say, hey, can you play Come On Eileen? And it doesn't fit the flow, and I'm trying to mix in and I play your Come On Eileen and you clear my dance floor, well, then you look at me and be like, well, why isn't everybody dancing? And I just can't, I can't risk a bad mark. Like I can take a little bit of a song. I can probably get a remix version of a song that kind of drops it within the same BPM range, or a remix version, but I can't move the whole flow. Well, let me take that back. It's not that I can't, it's that I usually don't. And that's why I tell people now to don't give me a must playlist. This young lady, she came with the list because when I send her the music app and stuff like that, it says must play songs on that. What I'm going to change that to is what genre of music do you and your guests enjoy? So I have to stop taking this must play thing off. I think we should actually eliminate must play. I think we should absolutely eliminate. I think you should tell me what everybody kind of likes, what genre they kind of like, what genre people fit into. Don't tell me what songs, because that's my job. I'm a DJ, so I should know these things. If you've hired me for your event, then you already know that I can play those genres of music that you're about to tell me. But don't tell me songs, tell me decades. Don't tell me songs, tell me artists. Don't tell me songs, tell me genres. So I think we should kind of get rid of this whole must playlist. I think we should either change the wording and stuff of it, and don't have it as a category when we're talking to these couples or talking to these brides and stuff as far as music, because I think when people recommend us, they don't say, oh, well, I know Jason can play Cotton Eye Joe, or Jason can play Copperhead Road. I know they don't say that. They say, I know a good DJ that can play all the music you love. And I think if you keep it at a broad range, it just makes it easier on us. We're not held and bound to certain music. We don't have to play certain songs. And that, the only time I think you should give me a certain song is if it's sentimental. Like if you need me to play a slow song because it's sentimental to somebody there, maybe your mother and your father, that was their first slow song, or you met your husband or your fiance off of a certain song. But only time I think you should really give me a song is on the do not playlist. I'll take it there because those are specific songs and stuff. But you can give me specific songs there, and you can give me genres and stuff there. You could say, hey, I don't want any Morgan Wallen, and I don't like any country. Or, hey, I don't want any Bruno Mars, no Bruno Mars songs. Or I could play, you could play one or two, but not too many. Or, oh, I don't want any slides. I can take it and stuff there. I just don't think we should be held to must play songs. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section and stuff down below. Let me check the chat and see what they say and stuff over here. Yeah, it's crazy when they want their must-play songs to be played ASAP. Yeah, especially the ones that have been drinking. And you'll see on the gig logs and stuff that I'm about to put out, there's those guests that are there again that are just, it's weird to me how they of course, all of my events, well, I'm sorry, the first two of my events had the glow sticks. And it's so funny when these women get intoxicated, like they turn to the DJ and they take the glow sticks and they do this little number right here. And they just put it right in your face. And it's like, hey, DJ, look, I can sing the whole song. And I'm a little intoxicated. I'm drunk and stuff. Look at me. Ooh, DJ, let me get you. It's like, it's nuts. It's nuts, bro. And then they come and they want songs played. And then if you don't play it right away, it's like, I want it now, and what happened to my song? And then they go tell the bride. It's just a whole weird ordeal. So I totally agree with you in discussing with the parameters. Okay. Yeah, but must play list is damn if you do, damn if you don't. Yeah, I agree. You send a link for the Vibo app, or do you just send something? No, I do send a link for the Vibo app. I do, because that's what I use. But like I said, I'm going to change the wording on that. To not the must play songs. I'm going to play what do you and your guests like to listen to as far as genres and styles. I think a must play would be relevant for a headliner, but wedding guests aren't there to see the DJ. They are actually some songs that only close family and friends would share with the couple. I could see why you say that. Daniel Rodriguez. I have a wedding Saturday. Must plays and all the BPMs are in the 80s. See, this right here. Let me hold on, hold on. Let me do this right here. See this right here? This right here. This is what I'm talking about. I need to change this to a different color. This needs to be white in the background. But anyway, he pretty much said, I have a wedding Saturday. Must plays are all the BPMs and the 80, 95, and it's nothing to dance to. See what I'm talking about? It's so weird. It's like people pick songs that you can't even dance to. Why? Why is that the time for you to hear that? I had someone tell me, no Jaheim and her wedding, still don't know why. Using that user. It's probably because they hear that just about all weddings. Most DJ. I didn't play Jaheim on Sunday. I haven't played Jaheim in a minute. But most people hear a lot of the same stuff at similar weddings, so they just get sick of hearing it. Only thing I can think of. All right. Hopefully you guys are still with me now. We're going to the next topic. All right, so next topic I want to talk about. I had an issue, guys. I had an issue. And I'm going to be straightforward with you because that's what I do. I like to just come straight at you. I don't like to sugarcoat it or dance around it. I had an issue with the Rev 7. I had an issue twice with the Rev 7. And I cannot figure it out for the life of me. I was supposed to be on a call this week with Pioneer, but I have been a little busy getting prepped for this coming up weekend. Basically, with the Rev 7 on day one in Tennessee, it kept having like little shorts and stuff in it. Like I'd be playing, and I'm going to highlight this in the video, so definitely stay tuned to the gig log for that. But I'd be playing, and all of a sudden, it would just kind of die out. Like, you know, like let's just say I'm playing Spice Girl, so it's like, if you want to be my lover, you got to be with my, like it's like at least a second or half a second drop, and it's very noticeable to anybody who hears music or listens to music. Very noticeable. And this didn't just happen once. It was happening throughout the night. And I didn't know what would change it. Like I would take points and stuff throughout the night and not in the middle of dancing, of course, just like when we had to stop and do something, I would stop, unplug the USB from the laptop and turn off the Rev 7 for like 30 seconds and turn it back on, and it would be good for a while, and then it would get to that point again and it would just start doing it. Now, at first I thought it was power. I definitely thought it was power. The DJ I was the young man that I was DJing for, you know, like I said, he's a fellow DJ, and he uses the Ring 1, and he says he never has any problem and stuff out of it. But, you know, he was trying to troubleshoot and stuff as well. And he could tell, and it was a little embarrassing and stuff because, you know, you go to somebody's event and you're trying to mix, and they brought you there, you know, because of the style of DJ you are, and you don't want to have any malfunctions when it comes to your system. I mean, everything else worked beautifully. I mean, the moving heads, the uplights, the both lighting, I mean, all that stuff worked great. But the Rev 7 was the issue. So I go into day number 2, and I'm like, okay, maybe it was because I had the lights and everything going off of one circuit. I had the speakers, the lights, and those draw too much power, and the Rev 7 needs its own circuit. So at day number 2, where I was set up at, I had a power that went to the left and a power that went to the right. And so I just ran the Rev 7 off the power that went to the right, and I ran speakers and lights and everything off of the power that went to the left. And, you know, everything sounded, you know, good and stuff until we got to almost the end. Like the last hour, I started having issues again. And it wasn't as blatant as the one in Tennessee, it was just like, okay, I would be mixing and a song's coming in and it would do a hesitation. It would be like a hesitation and stuff in the song. So it would just go like low. It would be, she hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty got low, low. And it'd be that hesitation right there, and it would actually throw my mixing and stuff off as I'm trying to mix the second song, and it didn't matter which side I did it from. The second song would have a hesitation, so it would come in beating on time, and then all of a sudden that side would stop just slightly and throw it the whole song off. All in the Rev 7. All while I was using the Rev 7. It frustrated the mess out of me. It was absolutely crazy. So I thought I was crazy. I put everything on or back into the 1000 SRT and for Sunday. And I said, okay, I'm not going to have this problem and stuff, at least at one of these events. And I took the SRT out there. I had zero problems. Zero. So it's not my laptop. It's not the plug or the power. It's the board. It's got to be the board. And I love the Rev 7 because I was able to do some different stuff with it. I love it. When it works, it's fantastic. But Lord have mercy when it doesn't. When it doesn't, it makes you, well, at least to me, it makes you feel like I want to just take this thing and chuck it. It sucks, but let me know in the chat how you guys get through system malfunctions. If you have an issue and stuff with your board, your mixer or a light or something not going and you're in the middle of your event, do you completely stop and tend to it? Do you find moments where you can kind of switch out stuff and plug stuff up? I mean, for all those who told me that you have backup equipment and stuff like that, like, what are you doing? Are you stopping in the middle of the event and going to your backup? Like, how are you handling that situation is what I'm trying to get at. What's the best way to handle that situation? Because I just found quick solutions by turning it off, unplugging it and stuff on the side, plugging it back in, only 30-second increments and doing that. And then I just gave up and stuff on the last one. I just gave up. I just was like, I'm using the SRT, and the SRT was beautiful. It just made me feel more like I don't want to say a push button DJ, but I was mixing more with beat matching with the SRT, whereas I can actually scratch and stuff on with the Rev 7. That's what I really like. Like I like the fact that it's got the moving platters and stuff like that, and I can actually scratch on it because I had a couple combos that sounded fantastic. But I was so scared to mix because I didn't know what I was going to get on the other side of the sound. It sucked, man. It's you'll see me. I'll talk about it in the gig logs and stuff that are coming up, but man, it was so frustrating. So let me know in the comments how you guys handle, issues and stuff that come up with your system while you're at the event. And let me tell you a couple things that didn't happen. So like I said, we thought it was the power at first in Tennessee. It wasn't. We thought it was the laptop and gig number 2. It wasn't. The temperature and stuff between both gigs was anywhere from 75 degrees to 80 degrees. And let me also say this. In the August gig that I did, where I was just kind of kicking, back and doing that, I had zero issues in the August gig with the Rev 7. Zero. Not one issue with the Rev 7 at all. So stir that around in the pot and just let me know what you guys think. Oh, look at Solstice. Solstice come. Look at that. See, Solstice coming in with his negativity. Solstice don't be bringing that negativity and stuff in here. Well, since you said that it's the board, that's why I don't buy anything better. I had to do a restart. I was able to use my iPhone and Mixcloud. Oh wow, that's crazy. Okay, let me get into this last one. This last one's going to be a little bit fluffier. It'll be a little fluffier. I actually went through this recently, and I know all of us have gone through this. This is a common problem. This happened at all 3 of my events. This is how the conversation goes. Like, you can see what the conversation and stuff is right up here. But it's always trippy to me how people still stand in front of speakers with microphones. Like, if you know anything about speakers, you know to not stand in front of them with a microphone. So, you know, I use the Shure QLX D4, and it is a fantastic microphone. It helps out with feedback and stuff, so I don't get as much stuff. But people who have speeches to do, or they're doing the welcome, or they're doing the blessing, I don't know why it is, but when you hand them your wireless mic, they've got the entire floor. They can literally go back to their chair, and I can come get the mic. You could have the thing on a stand. They would take it off and go stand right in front of the speaker. Why? Why do people do this? I literally say it like this. I cover the microphone, and I tell them, all right, here's your microphone. Now, the closer that you hold the microphone up to your mouth, the louder it's going to be. And I can adjust the volume and stuff right here if you have a soft voice. Now, you've got the entire floor to use. Utilize the floor. Go a little bit closer. Go in the middle. You don't have to stand right next to me. They're like, cool. They get up there, and they do this. They get up there and they do it every time. At every event, I had this. Why? Why, people? Just please go out to the dance floor. Let everybody see you. Let the photographer, the videographer capture that video. Stay at your table. I will walk over to you. Like, please, people, please. I can't take it anymore. Stop standing in front of the speaker. Like, thank goodness. Well, I mean, look, everybody's not going to have that great microphone. I mean, hell, right before I had the microphone that I have, this was a big problem. This was a huge problem. I used to cringe when it was time for speeches because of the older microphone that I had. I knew it was going to have feedback right in front. And what happens every time? The feedback is, wow, wow, and then everybody looks at you and like you did something wrong, when it's the person standing right in front of the speaker. Absolutely crazy. Let me know in the comments how you guys tend to that and stuff. I mean, do you just like, hey, go back out there. Go forward. Do you give the push signal? Do you put a mic stand in the middle of the floor, and do they still take it off? How do you guys tend to that? Because I don't know. But it is one of the most aggravating things you can deal with. Crazy. But that's it, man. That is it. Oh my gosh. That's all I wanted to go over and stuff with you guys. I knew I had a lot to go over, and I'm sorry I took up the majority of the time, but I just wanted to make sure that I give you guys some great information and stuff I learned over the weekend. I still go through growing pains to this day. To this very day, I still go through growing pains. So don't think you're alone and stuff like that. Every event is not going to be perfect. But, you try to get as close to perfect as you can. So that's cool. All right. So we'll use the last few minutes and stuff. I'll give you the last 10 minutes to go ahead and ask a question. So we'll do a little Q&A and stuff. Let me check the chat. Look, people, look at some of this. I hate this. Get from over here. It's almost, they have 6 cents of stupidity. I think they get nervous. I mean, but here's the thing. Even if you get nervous, like, go stand next to them. I mean, I'm sure they'll make you feel better, right? I mean, the bride and groom are not going to pick somebody who they don't want to speak. So, I mean, come on. DJ G5, what's up, man? Better late than never. for equipment. What we got here? Romeo Gray, they want to be where the sound is coming from. It's funny you say that, Romeo Gray, because, a lot of people do that to me whenever I'm playing music and stuff too. It's like they have to be right up on my table. Like they don't have a whole dance floor. Like, why are you right up on the table? This makes me very nervous and stuff for this coming up weekend, as I will have the new DJ furniture out there, and I'll kind of be on a platform by myself. That's going to make me very nervous. DJ J Torture, with your packages, do you charge for cocktail hour or include it in your packages? I'm thinking about adding it for charge for it. Okay, so when I first did packages, I had it as an individual charge. I think I charged like $100 or $120, something around that. And then when I made the package all come together and not individually priced everything, I just said, I put together the number first that I wanted to get for each package, and then I just said what it included. So all my packages now include cocktail hour and ceremony and reception. So all three of the packages I use include those three things. And then each one just gains a little bit more as far as add-ons. All right, what else we got here? What's happening, DJ Rollo Productions? What's happening coming from the Twitch area? I'll put that on the screen. You can also go to Twitch and follow me and stuff on there as well. I'm trying to work on a different room in the house to maybe do Twitch. Maybe if this Rev 7 thing doesn't work out, man, I have to take that sucker and use that to do Twitch or something. Jesus. That's so terrible. Can't believe my Rev 7. All right. Got time for some more questions, guys. This is the time to ask. Gig logs and everything will be out. I'm hoping to put out a gig log once a week for the next 3, and that way I'll have, if I do it like that, then every week that I'm having events, I can just put it on the back end, and you should get a gig log a week if I do it that way. But I had to edit 3, and that's a lot of footage because the Mevo Cam caught so much footage that wasn't even funny, man. It's so much great footage too. I mean, the footage, you're gonna love the footage. You're gonna love it because I always go back and see what it looks like. Here we go. Daniel Rodriguez. I need to pull this down, man. Why does you guys can't read it if I don't pull it down? When you get bookings, do you take a percentage out for yourself, gear and advertising? Still trying to figure out being a business owner. So I was just curious, what's the process for? Okay, so I don't necessarily do it. When I get a booking, I make sure that, the deposit and everything could, be what you pay yourself if that's how you want to do it. My biggest concern is making sure that I take at least 15% and put it to the side to go towards taxes. That's my main thing. I like to make sure that, when it's time to do my taxes and stuff like that, you can't just write off everything all the time and say you don't have anything, because you won't be able to buy stuff like cars, houses, and things like that. So you have to have a certain percentage. I think I do at least 15% out of each gig and put it to the side for when it's tax time, when I'm trying to calculate how much I need to actually pay in taxes to Uncle Sam based on what I report. Then that's when I utilize that money. So hopefully that helps you out there. But that's what I do. I have people in my family that are accountants and stuff like that, and that's what they recommend. So that's why I do it that way. I didn't come up with that myself, trust me. If it was up to me, I wouldn't give anybody anything. You got your screen black because I can't see. What? On Twitch, you can't see me right now? Really? Let me see. No, I'm looking right at the screen. And on Twitch, I'm right there. I don't know what you mean, bro. I got you right there. Okay. Next up. Do you use a wait a minute? Do you use a music app for cocktail hour pre-ceremony music? No, I just asked them what type of music they like because I have already. This is something that I did 2 years ago. I created about 4 different cocktail hour and about 4 different prelude music. So I know that people here usually ask for about the same thing. Like they don't sometimes most of them don't know what prelude music and stuff to pick. So I'll make sure I have classical, violin, country, um, um, what's the other one? R&B and it was well that's 4. Well, I thought I had one more, but I usually have all those on deck, and they usually have about 30 songs and stuff in them, enough to run about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Same thing with cocktail hour. I have jazz, I have country, I have R&B, I have easy listening like oldies and stuff like that, already ready to go. They have about 30, to 35 songs and stuff a piece. And they usually don't have to fill in the blanks for me. Now, some people still do it when I send them the app, but they don't necessarily have to. Like the guy in Tennessee, he kind of knew what he wants. He's a DJ also, so he kind of knew what he wanted. So I just, I downloaded the songs and stuff he wanted, but I created another category for that, just so I can use that too, because some people do get me an extra category just because of their music. So if I'm a download, I'm going to use it again somehow. So that's what I do with it. Good question. DJ Kenny Book question. What's your editing process? What do you use to edit? Because I use Premiere Pro. I have gigs I want to start with for my first gig log, but Premiere takes too long. Okay. So for these videos, it's really easy because Ecamm records while I'm doing this here, and I just have to chop it up. But I chop everything up and I produce all my videos and stuff through Final Cut Pro. Now gig logs are a little bit rough because depending on how long my music set is, I have to go through that amount of footage to chop it up into what you guys see. So on a gig log, I would say per video, it probably takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours now to get it done. And then for these right here, for like the ones that come out after this, from the show, it's usually only takes me like 30 to 45 minutes to do like 3 or 4 of them because they're like snippets. I'm just taking this and just repurposing them. So it's like a snippet. But yeah, Final Cut Pro. Good question. Yeah, I don't know why you can't see me and stuff on there. I mean, like I said, I just pulled it up on my phone and I was on there. When do you know it's time to go full time with DJing? When you have to focus more on DJing than you do your job, I would say. I would always look at the end of the year, see how much money and stuff was made during there, and see if that's enough to sustain. That way, you kind of get a number and stuff in mind. So all of those things play a factor. It's not just one thing that just pops out at you, but there are several factors that let you know, and you just kind of know. Especially when the gigs start taking over. Like if you're getting 2 a weekend, and it's interfering in the way with your job and stuff, and there's just not enough time in the day, it's probably time to evaluate each situation and see. So I would say take your time and just evaluate. All right. Jazz. Okay, cool. Thanks. What would you recommend camera wise if you're on a budget? The Canon GX7 Mark II should be right around like $400 or something like that now, which is not bad. I record all my gigs with the Mevo camera, which I absolutely love, from Logi. Is it Logi or Logitech? It's Logi, but it's a Mevo camera, Mevo. I think I have a link and stuff down below, but it's definitely on Amazon. Worth every penny. I think it's like $350 for that. I mean, it's worth every single penny. That thing records on a SD card, a mini SD card, and as long as you get a decent size one, which they're not that expensive and stuff anymore, man, you can record for hours. I mean, I love it. I don't have to look back at that thing. Once I hit record, like, it records the entire time. I think I got like a 128 gig card or something like that. So it did 2 gigs without me taking the card out. So pretty good. All right. How do you go about charging for additional hours, day of wedding? I got stiffed out of wedding 2 extra hours. Okay. Here's the thing with that. This is a very good question. If somebody wants to go OT and you tell them what the price is, you do not play one song until that money is right there. First of all, you got to check with the venue to make sure that you're not overstaying your welcome, because that's the easiest way to not get recommended by a venue. So make sure the venue is okay with it. If the coordinator does not have a send-off and stuff scheduled, check with the coordinator. But you do not play one song until that money is on your table or in your hand. And that's whatever you charge per hour, whether it be $100, $150, $200 an hour, whatever that number is, you do not play a song until that money has been put in your hands. And you let them know that. They say, hey, how much does it cost for $150? Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. As soon you have to pay that first, because that has to be paid up front. That has to be paid up front. Because I can tell you one thing, it may seem crazy to some people, but the venue is going to definitely make it, because the venue says you have until a certain time. When you get past that point, if the venue agrees to that, they are going to be paid right then and there. So with all these different devices and a way to take payments and all that stuff, somebody can pay. Somebody's got it. Otherwise, you are tearing that thing up and packing that thing up, you're gone. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. There's some great questions and stuff in the chat. We're going to come back again next week, 7 p.m. EST. And we're going to talk about more. Can't wait to show you guys what the DJ furniture looked like and did on its first day out. I cannot wait for that. So stick around for that. Stick around for content, and everything is going to be coming out. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bells. And also make sure you follow me on IG, because IG is where you're going to see everything first. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get back to it. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend, because busy season is here. Fall season is here, baby, and it is time to get to work. So make sure that you are living to strive and not to survive. Next week. Peace, people.